if you're holding XRP right now, if you held it early, if you stayed through the boring phases, the mockery, the confusion, the silence, then there's a reason, a real reason, and it's not what you think. Today, I'm going to tell you why XRP holders were chosen first, why you saw this asset before almost everyone else, why you stayed, and what your early position actually means in the bigger picture. Let's begin. There's a moment every XRP holder experiences, but most don't fully understand it. It's that moment where something clicked, something pulled you deeper, something made you research more, something made you look past the noise and ask, why does this feel different? You didn't know the full reason then, but here's the truth. Most people never get that moment, not because they're not smart, but because they're not wired to recognize early signals. Early XRP holders share a mindset, a pattern, a certain ability to see value long before the world wakes up. You weren't just early, you were receptive. You noticed what others couldn't. And that's not by accident, that's selection. Here's something nobody talks about. XRP didn't choose early holders. Early holders chose the future. Let me break that down. Most assets attract people because of hype. Bitcoin had the wild early days. Ethereum had the ICO boom. Solana had the meme coin wave. Most crypto attracts noise. XRP attracted a different group, a quieter group, a long-term group, a group with patience, a group with high conviction, a group that values utility over hype. Why? Because XRP itself is a utility-first asset. It was built for real-world function, not viral trends. Meaning the only people who could see it early were people who think in systems, people who look at economic structure, people who understand the difference between speculation and infrastructure. You didn't stumble on XRP, you aligned with it. Now here's the real secret, the part most early holders completely overlook. You weren't early to XRP, you were early to the world. XRP is designed for. When you bought XRP, the world was still using outdated banking rails, transferring money through slow channels, acting like cross-border payments weren't broken, ignoring the tokenization revolution, dismissing real-time liquidity as unnecessary. But look at 2024, 2025, 2026. Now we have tokenized U.S. Treasury funds moving on-chain, real-time settlement pilots between banks, liquidity corridors being tested quietly in Asia and the Middle East, cross-border CBDC experiments, corporate treasury divisions adopting faster rails, financial institutions allocating to digital infrastructure. Everything XRP was built for is now becoming necessary. And here's the part you never noticed. You recognized XRP before the world recognized the need for XRP's design. That's rare. That's what made you chosen first. People think being chosen means luck, or timing, or fate. But in reality, being chosen in crypto means something different. It means you were able to identify the asset that fits the coming system before the system existed. You saw a financial shift before the shift became obvious. Think about that. Most people only understand technology after it takes over. You understood XRP while it was still being underestimated. You weren't chosen because you're special. You were chosen because you're aware. Here's what early XRP holders share: pattern recognition, long-term thinking, system-level understanding, ability to filter noise, trust in fundamentals, patience, strategic vision. These traits separate you from the majority. The majority only reacts, you anticipate, and that's why XRP called you early, not through magic, but through alignment. This is the part no one ever explains clearly. Most early XRP holders think they're waiting for a pump, but you're actually waiting for activation. XRP is tied to tokenized bonds, tokenized cash, trade settlement, liquidity expansion, global interoperability. These aren't retail-driven events. These are institutional, shifting slow, massive, and they build quietly until suddenly everything switches. That's why you were chosen first, not because of hype, but because the world needs people who understand what's coming before it comes. Your early position isn't about price, it's about placement. You didn't enter early, you entered before the new financial system turned on, and now it's powering up. Let me drop this fast. If XRP was meaningless, why every global financial institution is moving toward the exact problems XRP solves. Why cross-border settlement is being restructured. Why tokenized assets are exploding. Why the global monetary system is shifting toward real-time liquidity. Why digital rails are becoming mandatory. Why tech built for speed and neutrality suddenly matters. You weren't chosen because of luck. You were chosen because you could recognize a blueprint before the world copied it. You've made it through. The confusion, the silence, the doubt, the sideways charts, the misinformation, the delays, the waiting. That was the filtering phase, the strengthening phase, the education phase. Now comes the alignment phase. Banks are preparing. Liquidity rails are forming. Tokenization is scaling. Settlement systems are upgrading. Institutions are allocating. Governments are restructuring. The digital era is unfolding. Everything XRP was built for is starting to require XRP-like technology. This is the moment early holders were chosen for, not the early years, the transition years. Your position wasn't early, it was preparatory. BTCC promotion, powerful, bonus-driven, trust-building. Now listen closely. If you truly believe you were chosen early, if you believe you hold a position in the next financial era, then your tools need to match the era you're preparing for. That's why I use BTCC. Not because it's popular, not because it's flashy, but because when the market flips, when the real liquidity unlocks, when institutions move in waves, when volatility hits hard, BTCC doesn't freeze or choke. It stays smooth and stable. And if you're going to position yourself correctly, you need reliability, speed, real-time liquidity tracking, instant execution. BTCC gives you all of that. Plus, if you use my link below, you'll get exclusive deposit bonuses, extra trading benefits, boosted rewards for new traders, higher quality tools for analyzing XRP liquidity. Early holders deserve early advantages, and this is one of them. My BTCC link is below. Don't miss out on the bonus while it's available. Now that you understand why XRP holders were chosen first, there's one more thing you need to see. The moment those early holders have been waiting for, the moment the system shifts, the moment everything activates. Watch this next. XRP. Floodgates are finally opening. It's the perfect continuation of today's message. Click it, and let's finish the story.